Welcome to the Agility in Real Life podcast, Take 5 in Real Life. Now your hosts, Mike Studeman, Jeff Lee, and Pat Campbell.
Good afternoon. Pat Campbell from Agility IRL on our podcast.
Yeah, welcome back. Mike Studeman here, partner at Agility IRL on our Take 5 IRL podcast. Pat, I hope you're having a great day.
Having a great day, enjoying the sunshine and the unusually warm temps for February. But of course, we're not here for a weather report.
We're not, but it is a warm day here in Minnesota. So a lot going on at Agility IRL. Wanted to take some time today to give our viewers some insight into why we joined Medical Alley. Why would an agile training coaching firm be interested in Medical Alley? Well, first of all, maybe give our viewers a little background on who Medical Alley is and then why we joined.
That's a great idea, Mike. And Medical Alley is not as bad as it sounds. It's not a dark alley. It's actually a pretty cool organization. It's actually global. It's a network of medical health organizations. They call themselves the foremost network of healthcare organizations, and their mission is actually to activate and amplify healthcare transformation. Now, oddly enough, our company is about transformation as well. And in fact, one of our key areas of focus is helping companies, particularly in med tech and med device arenas, transform how they deliver product so they can leverage agile mindsets and practices to get these critical products in the hands of the customers that need it. And so that motivated us to really look carefully at and eventually sign up to join.
Yeah, I think one of the things that motivated us is not only the transformation piece, but I mean, how can you feel bad about working with companies that look to give people another holiday, give people another birthday, see their kids graduate high school? Working with mission-driven organizations is certainly something that should not prevent a barrier to getting out of bed in the morning. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely. And they also hold some pretty cool events, one of which you had a chance to attend recently. They hold an annual summit of key healthcare providers, and maybe you could talk a little bit about your experience there, Mike, since you attended on our behalf.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity to hear not only medical technology, medical providers, even some patients talk about a number of topics. It's a one-day summit, was held at the Four Seasons Hotel this year in downtown Minneapolis on February 6th. The day started with a really inspiring keynote by a guy by the name of Chad Foster. Chad became blind when he was in college. It basically had to throw away 3.5 years worth of college work and start over. So talked a little bit about overcoming impediments, a very big one, and really has gone on to have an outstanding career. He actually, Pat, has written a number of pieces of software for blind users, including the singer Stevie Wonder. He actually met Stevie Wonder at an event, and instead of just shaking his hand and getting a picture, he went up to him and said, "Stevie, what problems do you have with software?" Which I thought was a pretty bold move, but it worked out for him. So after the keynote, excuse me, we heard from Ash Shahada. Ash is a global healthcare partner with a major consultancy, and he really gave us a state of the industry overview. And you're going to hear in my comments here, I think a lot of things that'll resonate with our viewers. One, he talked about a lot of uncertainty in the healthcare space, certainly with the change in presidential administrations, payment reimbursements, regulatory uncertainty. He also talked about geopolitical instability being a factor, mass migration, staff burnout, workforce shortages coming off of the COVID pandemic. And this will once again resonate. He talked about really needing to get close to your customer, regardless of the type of medical technology field that you're in, whether it's patient, provider, payer, med device, for
Hmm.
example, which I think resonates a lot with us as agilists, getting close to your customer. Uh,
Yeah.
we then had a fascinating discussion on uh, women's health, which I thought was quite interesting. Uh, One of the statistics that I wrote down here in my notes, which I thought was just fascinating, is that every $1 investment in women's health returns $3, which is a pretty good return on investment.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, this was a panel. I don't have the panel names written down here, but awesome, awesome panel. Really underserved market. Talked about how women are oftentimes the primary customer of healthcare on a household basis,
Hmm.
are also patients in and of their own rights, of course. Uh,
Yeah.
Talked a lot about another panel talked about innovation being necessary to really build organizational resiliency. That had a number of great comments that once again or will register with our viewers. A lot of talk about value being defined as outcome over cost, really focusing on those outcomes versus
Hmm.
not focusing on costs.
Yep.
John Rondoni of Inspire was part of that panel. And I wrote down a quote. He goes, "We have a lot of us in the industry have Star Trek technology on a Flintstones chassis," which I just loved. Hopefully, everyone remembers the Flintstones. Uh, Needing to really invest in upgrading the foundation, not just the cool features.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I also wrote down on that panel, I wrote transparency here in my notes 3 or 4 times and stakeholder management twice.
Hmm.
Oh, two other key themes that I think overlap the space.
Yeah,
Uh,
all of which we talk about a lot. Which you sat through some really interesting presentations. It sounds like, as well as panels. Which stood out the most to you, and why? Out of curiosity.
wow. Wow, that's a good question. Um, I think I was surprised by in Ash's presentation on global trends, just the level of uncertainty that people were expressing. Just
Hmm.
not only in the presentation, but also in the questions and the comments at the table that I was sitting with around how to navigate the new normal from a regulatory perspective.
Hmm.
I think, as we coach and teach, uncertainty is always present, but I think it's been amped up a lot by the pace of change.
Yeah.
And as I said, certainly the new administration plays a factor in that. So that was kind of one highlight. I think the other highlight was, in listening to the panel on innovation that I just mentioned, and listening, the last session of the day was what they called a fireside chat, although there was no fireside chat with some CEOs just about being a CEO. They called it C-suite unplugged. A number of those leaders talked about the importance at a leadership level of driving focus, which, once again, obviously, I'm looking at this topic through the lens of an agilist, but, focus, transparency, uncertainty, dealing with change. I would probably put that one number two. And then the women's health thing actually might be number two, actually, now that I'm saying that, two or three. Uh,
Uh-huh.
just because I didn't know that much about that market and was very, very impressed um, with the potential there for additional innovation. So I highly recommend our viewers check out that Medical Alley Summit. Very, very valuable to understand where the market's at and the major trends that are impacting it.
Well, those are three great topics or insights to take away, and looking forward to more of the same with Medical Alley. Obviously, we're very focused. Speaking of focus, in this industry, and trying to help them drive that focus in how they develop their product and do it in an iterative and in rapid fashion. So thanks for attending that and sharing that with us and our viewers, and looking forward to sharing more as we continue to mature this relationship with medicalalley.org if you want to check them out.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for taking some time to talk about it with me, Pat, and looking forward to our continued work in the space.
Likewise, thanks for joining us today. And as always, we look forward to having you on a future podcast with us. Take care and stay agile.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Take5IRL podcast. If you like it, please go ahead and share it with someone, as well as like and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Also, leave us a comment or a suggestion for a future episode. Again, thanks for listening, and we look forward to you joining us next time on the Take5IRL podcast.